Spangler, and I'm going to be helped tonight by
Sarah Wendman.
Sarah is a senior here, and the Mayfay Queen. So we're among royalty. Very exciting. Or your princess or queen?
Queen.
Well, I'll elevate you to queen. So, well, we're thrilled you're here. This is the second year we did this. It was fabulous last year, and we went it throughout the evening so some of your kids could be here because there was great advice given last year that we thought it was just too bad that more kids hadn't heard it. So please go home and tell your kids what you heard tonight. I think I learned a lot, and I think you will too. Feel free to butt in and raise your hand. It is informal, but we have a little bit of a format that we'll go through. But like I said, you are more than welcome to ask a question. We'll have plenty of time for questions afterwards. What we'll do to start out is go down the line and have the kids tell you who they are and where they went to school this year. I know you're going to think, oh, that's awful, they don't have kids from the state schools. They're not out yet. We do have, as close as we can get, but the Oregon and Oregon State are still in session. So that's why we have kids that have gone out of state. That's not a bias, but that's the best we can do at this point. So go ahead, Charlotte. Why don't you go ahead and get started?
I'm Charlotte Spangler, and I go to the University of Southern California in Los Angeles.
I'm Jeff Wells, and I go to Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona, and I'm also part of the LOHS program, which is kind of its own campus and its own program.
I'm Kiski Holwerda, and I go to Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio.
I'm Cameron Lee, and I'm going to Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington.
I'm Rachel Nowitzki, and I'm at Portland Community College, Sylvania campus.
My name is Emily Kong, and I go to University of Illinois. It's the Urbana-Champaign campus at Illinois.
My name is Spencer Nowak, and I go to Azusa Pacific University, which is basically in LA.
So we've got a great cross-section. Big state schools, small schools, community college, so hopefully that will cover a lot of the questions you might have. I think we'll start out first about their experiences here at the high school and how that helped them at this phase of their life. And I'm going to let Sarah help in this section because she's closest to this topic.
Okay, so there's obviously AP classes offered at the high school, and just wondering if you guys took any of these when you're in high school and if that kind of helped or didn't help at all. Whoever wants to jump in.
Did all of you take an AP? Yeah. All of you?
Well, I took AP Calculus and AP US History, and that was it. And then I kind of made the mistake of not taking the AP exams for those. And I guess my big point of advice here is you should take AP classes because now I realize I have to take the equivalent classes in college and it costs more and it takes up a lot of time where I'd like to take other classes. So if you can, take AP classes and they definitely help prepare you, like especially AP Calculus.
I took Calc 1, Calc 2, and US History. And I think the maths really helped me out, and I ended up being 2 semesters ahead and got to just jump right into that. But I didn't take like AP. I'm an engineering major, and so I have to take chemistry and biology and physics. And it didn't matter so much for chemistry and biology. Those I did okay in, but physics, since I hadn't taken AP, I was kind of lost in that class. And there were a lot of people that I had class with that had taken AP, and they're like, "Oh, this is so easy," but it was pretty difficult for me because they moved a little faster.
I took honors English all 4 years, and then I took the AP exams, and that allowed me to take 200 level English classes, which was really nice because I could get into them easier. And I was just saying, it was also helpful for writing papers in college because it surprised me how many people had struggled with writing English papers, and so LO has a really good English program that helped me prepare for that.
Yeah, I felt the same thing with English. It really helped me a lot with like being able to read a lot and like being able to write essays quickly. But do have to keep in mind is that not all schools take your AP credit directly for a class. Like I took 4 AP classes, 2 history and 2 honors English, but they didn't count for any specific classes. But I just got units, so it'll help me in the long run. But I wasn't able to like get into an upper level writing class. So do keep that in mind depending on what schools you apply for. And a lot of the times they'll have all that information on their website. So.
Also, I know some people that were my major but using it as pre-med, and it ends up that pre-med has different requirements, and you have to take like 2 of biology, 2 of physics, 2 of chemistry, and so they had to retake what they took as AP. And even though it would count, but they had to retake it because you're supposed to take 2 of each during your college years.
How does an AP course here at LO High School, in terms of the rigor and the difficulty, compare to a college course?
I thought that it was about the same. I felt like they definitely did prepare me for the amount of work that I was going to have to do. I felt especially that with Honors English and AP US History, just because of both those classes, there's a lot of reading, a lot of quick turnaround for essays and things. And so that definitely helped me prepare, and I felt that they were about the same.
In terms of the rigor? In
terms of the rigor and, you know, how quickly we'd have to turn things in and the sort of the scale of grading, I felt it was about the same, or even slightly harder at here. For my Honors English classes, I actually did better in essays at college than I did at US. Yeah.
Extremely well prepared.
Well, I'm a psych major, and so the only math class you have to take is statistics, and so that's what I took here, AP statistics, and got through that. And so I've been done with like math since junior year, and that was like really nice to kind of be done with that, you know, early, especially in class in high school. You know, you have to go to class like for a certain amount of time each day, so you might as well fill it up with classes that will benefit you later on. Whereas in college, you know, it's very much taking what interests you. A lot of time allows you to be more successful. So I saved myself a lot of time by taking it early.
For me, math was much easier here because of like the small classroom. You can ask questions. Also, the way it was graded was easier here, or for my teachers anyway. We had a chance to like get more credit by reviewing the answers beforehand. While at school or at college, like it can be a larger class, like a larger lecture class. It's hard to learn. The teacher may be difficult to understand. And like with my math class, I spend like 4 or 5 hours per assignment, talk to the teacher, talk to other people, and still get it back and get like 35%. I mean, that was Cal 3 for engineers, honors, but it's just tough.
Coming from here, what was the toughest thing you had to adjust to in your first semester?
Academically or just in general?
You know, can we hold that? We're going to go through a little bit chronologically, so we will get to that kind of topic. I think we'd like to just make sure we cover their experience here at high school, and then we will move on to that, though. Thank you.
Yeah, I took AP Econ here, and Mr. Gong is an amazing person, an amazing teacher. I didn't get credit because I didn't pass, I didn't get the minimum, but I can say that taking the AP class definitely gave me a boost because I went into Econ, I'm a business major, and I went into the Econ classes already having a basic knowledge of a lot of the concepts. So I do recommend that you take as many AP classes as you can, and even though you may not pass the AP test, you may not get credit for it, you may take those classes in college and you already will have an up or I guess your kids will have an up compared to other students because of LO, and I think LO does a really good job with all of their AP classes. The teachers push them really hard to be independent and study.
I just want to say, just be careful with the word as much as you can. You can not meaning I've ruined my schedule, but can being you are able physically and emotionally and academically prepared and able to take those classes. Yeah. Because you do not want to say, well, I took 8 AP classes, but then have your GPA not be as high, so then you can't get into the college that you want to get into. So just be careful.
And if you have any idea of what you're moving into, you may want to like take those kind of AP classes. If you're going to be a business major, take econ. If you're going to be a math-related major, take math. If you're going to do journalism or something, take English. So, because it's really it's most valuable if it's helping you or replacing a class that you're actually going to have to take.
Now, a lot of you kept your plate really full with extracurricular things. At what point was the breaking point of too many APs? Anybody want to talk to that? Did anybody get themselves over their head on this panel?
How many did you take typically in 1 year?
I took 2 years.
2 a year?
I took 3 total.
Yeah, I took, or not 3 my senior year.
Last 2 years, not every year.
So when my son came home and said, Dad, I'm going to take 6.
I would say
I think he was joking.
Yeah, that's probably not
I
I would
They are
definitely
difficult.
Yeah, I took 2 junior year and senior year, and I thought that was like a perfect amount for me. It gave me time to be able to do the plays and do dance and do other activities, but I still felt like challenged academically, and that I had time to do my work. But yeah.
I know I did stats junior year and I'm in econ this year, and it's enough. It's good.
Well, Sarah's a busy kid. You do student government.
Yeah.
And
Basketball.
basketball. Yeah, I think it, just from a parent, like pulling your hair out while they're doing too much homework, Cheryl really burned the candle at both ends a lot. And there's only so many hours in the day. Would you all say that the stress level is probably not worth it if you take too many?
Because also, for me, I took all 8 classes my freshman and sophomore year, and then I took 7 my junior year. So, you still have 6 other classes that with work and stuff you have to do. So, I know some of the kids who take a lot of AP classes do maybe 5 or 6 classes instead, and 4 of those are AP or 3, and they're loaded, but they have less a less amount, I guess, of classes. But I was taking 7 classes, and even this year I'm taking 7, so it's enough with all the other classes we have.
Why don't you guys weigh in a bit? If you had to recommend to the kids or the people in the audience, what were some of the best classes you took here that helped you in college? You've said some of it, but what do you think is really worth taking?
Honors English.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it prepares you so well for the writing that you do. Just so well.
Yeah, you have to get used to having a really tough grader and having to work really hard on the essays, and I feel in the beginning of years of just regular English, it's just do this little assignment and blah 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 blah. But when you're in honors, I think you get a lot more used to having to really write really critical essays, having to read a lot, having to be quick on your feet, and that's really important once you're in college.
So, engineering, is that you?
I
Are you, you're a Gonzaga?
Yeah.
He's Gonzaga, but he's
Yeah, not
Okay.
engineer, though.
Honors English, not a biggie?
I had a class for my honors program that was like honors English, and it was kind of a discussion-based class. So for that, it would have been really useful because we did have to read a book in a day and discuss it and write essays about it. But it depends. I didn't really realize I was going into that, but I did fine without honors English because I only took those two classes, and I got through it. But it could be helpful. And actually, in that case, it's being able to learn how to write well is important in general in life, I feel like. So it might be a good idea to take an English